So apparently, I was reading Bleacher Report, and what I got out of it, in regards to LeBron James, he speaks on the Clippers, and he gives, his opinion of the Clippers, in doing so, and how he feels about them, along with a few other teams in the Western Conference. Now, when I was reading on Bleacher Report, he gave his opinion saying, them along with Memphis and a few other teams, the Warriors, stuff like that, are amongst the top teams in the West. And he actually mentioned the Clippers. And I think a lot of people might have been taken aback by that because, hearing somebody from the other LA team giving the other team some type of props or any type of credit is not something you usually hear, because it's usually always some type of negative response when it comes to the opposing team. Whereas the Clippers side, they don't really say anything negative about the Lakers at all. They don't even really speak on the Lakers. They just play them, beat them, and move on to the next opponent. Whereas the Lakers, they kind of the people on the Lakers side kind of thrive on throwing subliminal shots at the Clippers, whether it's a former Laker or whether it's a current Laker. There's usually always subliminals thrown at the Clippers. And honestly, the reason why I wanted to speak on this, because just I think last week there was a comment that LeBron James actually made where he says, if my mother was on the Clippers, I would want to dunk on her, or something like that he was saying, and you can actually go and Google that and read those comments even more, get more in detail. But it's funny how, you make a comment like that on his show, I believe The Shop, and then he comes out and says something like, oh, the Clippers are one of the top teams in the West. You know what I'm saying? To me, if you're going to shoot a subliminal at a team, then leave it that way. Don't, go back and forth with, things that you say about a team that you don't like and a team that doesn't like you. So I don't really respect that part. But I will say this, to me, LeBron James is absolutely correct. The Clippers are one of the best teams amongst the top teams in the West. Me personally, I think they're the best team in the West, based upon, the roster that they have on paper and what we've seen so far in the preseason. They got a lot of good pieces where, only thing the Clippers can do is get better if they consistently, play with each other and stay healthy and, gradually go through the season. The only thing they can do is get better with all that talent that they have, and arguably the best head coach in the NBA, because what Ty Lue did last year without his two superstars, I'm not sure if any other coach can do that. I'm not sure if any other coach can coach that well or get the best out of, the other guys on a team and, execute to at least a decent level to where they found a way to make the play-in tournament. And, you look at a team like the Lakers, who had way more pieces, or should I say way more star power on the floor, whether it was Westbrook by himself, whether it was LeBron and Westbrook, or AD and Westbrook, AD, LeBron, or all three was on the floor at some point in the season. So you had all that talent on the floor, or at least some of that talent on the floor, and you couldn't find a way to make a play-in tournament. So to me, that just tells you how good the Clippers coach Ty Lue is. It really does. So we got to give him some credit, for what he was able to, get out of the team last year, not having his two superstar players, hoping and wishing that both of them would have came through the door before the playoffs last year and maybe probably try to make a run for the championship. But it didn't work out that way. It didn't end up that way. So, here we are. The Clippers are, entering their fourth season together as a team, and this is the year for them to do it. I think this is the year for them to, take that next step, go to that next level. And I believe they can do it. And I believe that they believe in themselves that they can do it. So it's all about health with them. It really is, because honestly, if they're healthy, there's nobody in the West that can beat them. I don't think there's nobody in the NBA that can beat them, unless it's a team like the Brooklyn Nets. If Ben Simmons is healthy, vibing very well with Kevin Durant and Kyrie, and the offensive firepower that they have, that might be the only team that can counteract what the Clippers have, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So, Either way, like I said, this is the year for the Clippers to show everybody and shut up all the doubters and the haters and put all that behind them and, go forward and find a way to win a championship, because they have one of the to me the best player in the league when healthy, Kawhi Leonard. They have one of the most unique players we ever seen in the NBA dominate both ends of the floor. Can give you 20 that can give you 28 to 30 points a game, and he can give you astounding defense on the other end while he's shooting offensively efficiently. You see what I'm saying? So it's not many players that are on this earth that can do that. You know what I'm saying? Not on this high of a stage in the NBA, on this high stage of basketball, except Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, having somebody like him who's determined, who is hungry, one thing I always notice about Kawhi, whatever team he's on, he leads by example, because he plays the role of the quiet guy, but he also is the most hungriest on the team, almost as if, he didn't even win a championship before. And that's the one thing I always respect about Kawhi more than any other part of his game. He's always hungry for another championship, almost as if he didn't even win one yet. You see what I'm saying? So that just shows, how his mentality is towards being the greatest player he can be, maximizing his talent to the best that he can, to the best of his ability to be the best player he can be and be one of the best players that's ever played this game. And, with that being said, I feel like that's going to rub off on a lot of other players, and I feel like it already has on that team. So, I feel like Kawhi and this team here definitely has a run in them, and they just gotta stay healthy enough to fulfill it. And as I said before, I think LeBron's right about the Clippers being one of the top teams, amongst one of the top teams in the Western Conference and in the whole NBA, really. So let's just see what the Clippers do. Let's see what their output is this season coming up, because it's a big one. They got opening night against the Lakers. So I think it's, of course, opening night with the Lakers. I think they're going to play the Lakers probably at least 3-4 times this season, of course. So they'll have plenty more times to play them if they happen to lose to them the first game, or vice versa. The Lakers win, Lakers lose or whatever. They got plenty more times to play the Clippers in the season, I believe. So, it's just one game, but it is an opening statement game. So, let's see, may the best man win, and let's get straight to it. But hey, this is my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.